Uh, Lee Brown put out my Cargill build, and it was close. But there was a comment in there by somebody that, man, this is Whaley. And I want you to know that while, yes, we can build her extremely Whaley and do beyond ridiculous things with her, you don't need all those things to make her good. She is good right out of the box. And I want to show this because she's overlooked a lot. People see Mommy, they see Asuka. This card is the strongest female card in the game. She's clicky. That's what has people concerned. But it's one of those that you can play her multiple ways to make it to where she's safe to use. And we're going to show that as best as we can here. And I'm going to try to show it with using basic trainers. Now, there's two things that I cannot work around. And I feel like they're fairly common. Maybe not so much this moment. I can't remember if it was a 4-token moment or just a single. I can't work around this. This is giving ×2 to our multiply gems. Now, also, if we decide to go green, we're getting 50% more gem damage to green as well. So keep that in mind because that will come into play as we look through her moves. The second one is our multiplies are by 3 with the Women's Evolution moment, and then all our colored gems are doing 50% more gem damage. So right off the back with moments alone, we have ×5 for multiplies and 100% gem damage between the two moments. Now, if we look at her core, our multiplies are starting. So that means we've got ×7 here. We're starting at ×12s with this alone. Roxanne is going to be the key for most of these builds. There is one build that requires, let's see, and it's the old way to build her. That's this way, where we're doing the green, yellow. So with this, I currently have on the strap with the jade plate and the crown. So the crown is going to be crucial to this, and the reason is we're going to be breaking the board twice. Granted, you're going to hit your multis out, and there's two ways to play this. One of them is going to be slightly riskier than the other and slightly slower than the other, but we'll show both. So we break 7 or more yellow gems whenever we do this. Now, the jade plate is the same for her as using this plate here. This plate, the ministry business would be better for if you're going to be running the nightmare plate. Then you have that as an option for the nightmare plate. I usually just run a simple cascade plate just because she does so much damage that I can use those plates elsewhere. All right, let's find Jade Cargill on the road. One more. All right, and we're going to just go through the evolution using, I'm going to try to use as basic of people as possible. We have 6 MP. So we're going to just keep it simple, right? I'm going to use Santa Hogan on this one. And there's so many different ways that you could do this. Actually, we'll do a one without Santa just because this doesn't need 17k Santa. Now, also, I want to, in the past, you would have used her. We want to do something a little different, and I'm going to tell you why. We want to use Tiger King, and then we're going to just run green gem damage I'm sorry, green MP. We're going to use Roxanne throughout this. Keep in mind, this can be steel. Now, we are going for green damage. So like I said, I'm going to try to use, and I am in the passenger seat coming home from our Thanksgiving little weekend, so you're going to hear some bumps and bruises as we do this drive along. Anyways, in the past you would have had to use Hollywood Hogan here. We are not going to do that because we are using Tiger King, which has given us ×2 MP. We're going to go ahead and use Brett here, and we're going to go ahead and throw Memrock on there. Actually, you know what? We want to go stronger than Memrock, so we're going to go with a freebie here in Chelsea Green. Alright, so that is how we are set. And let's look at our MP. We have 4 from Roxanne and 2 from Tiger King, so our greens are set. We got 1 from our move, so that's 3 MP, okay? So here, for our finisher, we no longer need that Hollywood Hogan to load the finisher because we have 3, and we're going to do 2-3 matches to reload the greens. So we're going to take her on the road. I have hype 1, so I'm leaving my medals off of the strap for this run. This, if you're careful with it, can do huge damage. So we're throwing them out 1 time. We have proc the plate there. And then, and all of these are accessible. So now we have procced the crown, and that's right, you would need the color fill plate. That's okay. So it really doesn't need it. You don't need to throw these multis out twice. All right, so we're creating green. So obviously we want to go here and not here because we're going to line up with some more greens there. And guaranteed to hit. There we go. Now, why didn't we proc the May crown there? That should have procced. Let's look at that. We broke 6, correct? Is it 6 or 7? It might be 7. And if that's the case, break 7 or more. Yeah. Doesn't need it, right? So that's fine. Let's look at another setup. I never run this setup, which is why that didn't do what I was expecting it to do. I never run it this way. So our second setup, I run it with this. Now, things to keep in mind. You're going to see people try to proc that, to do this 3 times. If you introduce Cascade Risk into this, then shame on you. There is no reason to introduce Cascade Risk. You've got 2 things that are going to keep you from just doing this against anybody, and that is going to be we'll get words together here just shortly. Your multi-down people, or your really you only, well, yeah, you got Tiffy, you got Indy, then there's one more that's not coming to mind, and she is the technician from the Attitude Era, Jacqueline, that can reverse this. Now you have MP up as well, so it's one of those that we want. Keep in mind that there's 2 ways that this could get blocked. However, we're going to show it 2-click. And that is where the May Crown comes into play. So we are going to go ahead, and keep in mind we've got to break 7, and that's fine. We are going to break 7. And I say 2-click, it's really clicky, which is why a lot of people don't do it. But we want to try, so there's more yellows here. We're going to go with this. Now, we are going to create some row breaks. That's 8 yellow gems. And then we're just going to connect right there for another 3. And now, this is how I typically run her, which is how that jade plate comes into play. You can see we easily zeroed out jade. I'm not 100% sure how much this hit in the past. It's been a long time since I've done it with hype that I don't really recall. I could look back into some videos that I did a while back and show that, but that is a 2-click option, and that removes the MP up, so we don't have to worry about that reversal. You've only got to worry about multiply gems. Now that is for a decent hit, and keep in mind we are still using the same trainers. For this one, you don't even need Tiger King. For the one that I just showed, you don't even need Tiger King. You could go ahead and use Liv and do it that way. And I'm just showing basic trainers because I know that there's Whaley trainer videos of her out there on everything. And we want to show that she is free-to-play user friendly. If you don't have this guy by now, then Memrock, something like that. But I feel like Striker Brett has been around for a hot minute. Okay. Now we're going to show the clicky way. The clicky way, this is how we get to that 200 million. And we're going to hit well over 100 million even with basic trainers. We're going to throw the multiplies out. We are going to create row breaks without connecting them turn 1. So we want to throw one here. This is already set up for one, so we're going to throw another one here. And then we are going to do this number. Throw one there. And then we are going to throw one here, one here. This setup takes patience. Whenever I'm not talking and whatnot, it goes a lot faster. I can assure you of that. But this way we could really create 5 row breaks, which is plenty. We're going to skip that. We're going to refill our green. We're going to proc the jade plate a second time. There we are. And then we're going to go ahead and make our connections. There we go. We have one left, so let's see. Just throw it there. Boom. Boom. Easily zeroed out. Basic trainers. Now, with that setup, if you are going to go that route, there's a couple other things you can do. If you're aiming to 2-click, I would drop this guy. And I would go for more generate. That way you could make more cascades of the yellow. However, you do want to keep in mind that your focus is going to be toward the greens. So our yellow, Zombie Sean, is black, purple, red, I'm not crazy. Did I pass it up? I know we have a zombie that creates yellow, or somebody that creates yellow. Black gems multiply green. There he is. Steamboat. Steamboat creates yellow. So now we have 9. So it becomes a little less board dependent whenever you do it this way. The other thing you're going to want to do if you're going for the big hit is you're going to want to change out your strap, and you're going to want to go with something that has a sheriff's badge on it. I'm sorry, not a sheriff's badge. You could do a sheriff's badge along with the nightmare plate and scoop up. Is a sheriff's badge... Oh, I'm thinking outside of the box here. Sheriff's badge is if you break red, you get yellow. Okay, disregard that. Nightmare insignia. And then I used to do the cowabunga plate. I don't think I have that strap built anymore. I believe I had used the cowabunga on the bottom of that, and it's just to scoop up any extras. Yeah, the cowabunga. So this is just to scoop up any extra multiply. It's not guaranteed. You normally don't need it, but I do that along with the nightmare plate on her mostly. It's with the 2-click option. I kind of like this one because you create that cascade of times 20, so you have a better chance of really scooping up some extra multiplies there. But we're at 17 minutes. We showed 3 different movesets with basic trainers that all hit and zeroed out Jade's health in here, which is 76 million. Now, I am higher on hype, but I'm only hype 1, and I ran this with no medals. So, she is viable for free-to-play characters. Or, I'm sorry. She is viable as free-to-play. She's not a free-to-play character. She's still rare. But she's still out there and usable. Is she going to be a 2-click option like Mommy? No. Can she hit harder than Mommy? Yes. And there's even a newer moveset out there that is a Zorro build that you can throw this bugger in here. And then you throw a rainbow plate along with the nightmare plate. Or you could even still keep... Your plate doesn't necessarily have to change, but you would change the jade plate over to a rainbow plate, and the reason being our jade plate is only doing 100%. If you go ahead with a rainbow, we're doing 300% or 500%, depending on what color rainbow you have. Excuse me, what color snowflake plate you have. So I've got the rainbow ones, and that's why I keep saying that. You would want a yellow one, which I do not have. You could also do a green, and then... Do I have a green one? Because that would be interesting, along with the jade, or the May crown. That would be interesting, too. No, I've got just the black. So, different plate options. Different ways to play her. 100 mil easy. You know, the moon's the limit whenever it comes to her. She's going to be really the best female showboat on your roster. And it doesn't matter if you have the top tier ones. She might be a tad slower, but I guarantee you that you could do any of these movesets in 45 seconds. With the exception of the MP up one, then you're at 1 minute. So it's a 1 minute win. You got a 15-second longer because you're doing a 4th move. Solid card. Don't sleep on her. She is awesome. She really is. Hope y'all have a good weekend.